My name is Linda Parker. I am 59 years old, and I live alone in a small, quiet house in Brighton. My life is very simple now. Every day feels almost the same. The mornings come and go, and the evenings pass quietly. Sometimes it feels like time is moving, but my life is standing still. I wake up early every morning, even when I do not need to. I open my eyes and stare at the ceiling for a few minutes before getting out of bed. The house is always silent. There is no sound of another person moving around. There is no voice calling my name. Sometimes I think about my past. Sometimes I just listen to the silence around me. My husband died 8 years ago. His name was Thomas. He was a kind and loving man. He knew how to make me smile even on difficult days. Whenever I felt sad, he always found a way to make me laugh. When Thomas was alive, our home felt warm and happy. Every evening we sat together in the living room and drank tea. We talked about simple things. We talked about the weather, our neighbors, and our plans for the next day. Those moments were not exciting, but they were precious. Now the house feels different. It feels bigger than before, but it also feels colder. Every room reminds me that Thomas is gone. I have one child. My son's name is Daniel. I love him more than anything in the world. When he was young, he was a sweet and cheerful boy. He was always running through the house. Sometimes he would draw pictures and bring them to me proudly. "Mom, look what I made," he would say. I always smiled and praised him. I still remember those days clearly. They are some of the happiest memories of my life. Many years ago, Daniel moved to Canada. At first, he told me it was only for work. He wanted a better future. He wanted more opportunities and a successful career. As his mother, I understood. Every parent wants their child to succeed. So I smiled and told him, "Go, my son. Follow your dreams." I tried to be brave when I said goodbye. But after he left, the house felt emptier than ever. Years passed. Daniel built a new life in Canada. He married a woman named Sarah. Together they had 2 children. I had never met my grandchildren. I had only seen their pictures on my phone. Every time Daniel sent a photo, I looked at it for a long time. The children always looked happy. Daniel looked successful and comfortable. I felt proud of him. But at the same time, I felt a quiet pain in my heart. He rarely called me. Sometimes weeks passed without a message or a phone call. Then suddenly my phone would ring. "Hello, Mom. How are you?" he would ask. I always answered the same way. "I'm fine, my son." Even when I felt lonely, I never told him. I did not want him to feel guilty. Sometimes he sent money. "Mom, buy something for yourself," he would say. I always thanked him, but the truth was simple. I did not need his money. I needed his time. I wanted to hear his voice. I wanted to feel that I still mattered in his life. Each day I tried to keep myself busy. I cleaned the house. I swept the floors. I dusted the shelves. Sometimes I cleaned things that were already clean. It gave me something to do. After that, I cooked a small meal. Usually it was soup, rice, or something simple. Cooking for one person always felt strange. In the afternoons, I often sat near the window. I watched people walking outside. I saw parents holding their children's hands. I saw couples talking and laughing together. I saw friends enjoying each other's company. I watched quietly. Sometimes I felt like I was looking at a different world, a world that no longer belonged to me. In the evenings, I sat alone in the living room. I often took out an old photo album. It was one of my most valuable possessions. Inside were pictures from every stage of my life. There were wedding photos of Thomas and me. There were family pictures from birthdays and holidays. There were countless photos of Daniel growing up. One photo was my favorite. Daniel was about 5 years old in that picture. He was holding my hand, and we were both smiling at the camera. Whenever I looked at that photograph, tears filled my eyes. I gently touched the picture and whispered, "I miss you, my son." Every night before going to bed, I checked my phone. I always hoped to see a message from Daniel. Sometimes there was nothing. Sometimes there was only a short message. "Busy today, Mom. Talk later." Even those few words meant a lot to me. I read them several times. I always believed that one day Daniel would come back. I imagined him standing at my front door with a smile on his face. I imagined hugging him again. I imagined seeing my grandchildren for the first time. Those dreams helped me continue through lonely days. Then, one cold morning, something unexpected happened. I was making tea in the kitchen when I heard a knock on the door. At first, I thought I had imagined it. Nobody ever visited me. Then I heard it again. Knock, knock, knock. My heart immediately started beating faster. Slowly, I walked to the door. My hands trembled slightly. When I opened it, I froze. Standing there was Daniel. For a moment, I could not breathe. I simply stared at him. "Daniel?" I whispered. He smiled. "Hello, Mom." Tears instantly filled my eyes. "Daniel, you came." He nodded. "Yes, Mom, I'm here." Without thinking, I wrapped my arms around him. I held him tightly. For years, I had dreamed about this moment. Now it was finally real. I cried openly. "My son," I kept saying. "My son." He gently patted my back. "It's okay, Mom. I'm here." Something about his voice felt different, but I ignored it. I was too happy. I invited him inside. He walked through the house and looked around. "Nothing has changed," he said. I smiled softly. "No, everything is still the same." I prepared tea for him. We sat together at the kitchen table. I asked countless questions. How was Sarah? How were the children? How was life in Canada? Daniel answered politely. "They're all doing well." I smiled. "I wish I could see them." "You can," he said. I looked at him. "What do you mean?" Daniel took a deep breath. "Mom, I want you to come live with us in Canada." I was shocked. I never expected those words. "Live with you?" I asked. "Yes," he said. "You shouldn't be here alone anymore." His voice sounded sincere. "You deserve to be with family." I looked around my kitchen. Every wall held memories. Every corner reminded me of Thomas. "This is my home," I said quietly. "I know," Daniel replied, "but you're alone here." His words were difficult to argue with. He continued speaking. "You'll have your own room. You'll see your grandchildren every day. Sarah wants you there too." I looked at him carefully. "Really?" "Of course," he said. For the first time in years, hope filled my heart. Maybe I could finally be part of my son's life again. Maybe I could watch my grandchildren grow up. That night, I could not sleep. I lay awake thinking about the decision. Leaving my home scared me, but staying alone scared me too. The next morning, Daniel spoke again. "Mom, we should sell the house." The suggestion surprised me. "Sell it?" "Yes. You won't need it anymore." I hesitated. A small feeling of doubt appeared inside me, but I pushed it away. This was my son. I trusted him. So eventually I agreed. The next few weeks passed quickly. A buyer was found, documents were signed. The day I handed over the keys was one of the saddest days of my life. It felt like I was saying goodbye to my past. Daniel handled the money. He told me it would be easier that way. I trusted him completely. Soon everything was ready. I packed only a few belongings, some clothes, my photo album, a few treasured memories. Then the day arrived. We went to the airport together. The airport was crowded and noisy. I stayed close to Daniel. I felt nervous but excited. This was the beginning of a new chapter. At least that was what I believed. After we checked in, Daniel looked at me. "Mom, wait here. I'll get a wheelchair for you." I smiled. "Okay." He walked away. I sat down and watched him disappear into the crowd. 5 minutes passed, then 10, then 20. At first, I remained calm. Maybe there was a long line. Maybe he was speaking with airport staff. But as more time passed, I became worried. 30 minutes later, I stood up and looked around. I could not see him anywhere. I sat back down. My heart was beating faster now. 45 minutes passed. Then 1 hour. Fear slowly filled my chest. "No," I whispered. My son wouldn't leave me. A police officer noticed me sitting alone. He approached kindly. "Ma'am, are you waiting for someone?" "Yes," I replied quickly. "My son. He went to get a wheelchair." The officer nodded. "Do you have a picture of him?" I immediately opened my bag and showed him a photo of Daniel. I also showed him my ticket. The officer studied everything carefully. "Please wait here," he said. "I'll check." I thanked him. Then I waited. Every minute felt like an hour. I prayed silently. Please let Daniel be safe. Please let him come back. Eventually, the officer returned. The moment I saw his face, I knew something was wrong. He sat beside me. For several seconds, he said nothing. "Did you find him?" I asked. The officer looked down. Then he spoke gently. "Ma'am, your son boarded the flight." I stared at him. "What?" "The plane has already left." The words felt impossible. "No." My voice was barely a whisper. "That's not true." The officer nodded sadly. "I'm very sorry." Tears immediately filled my eyes. "He wouldn't do that," I said. "He's my son." The officer remained silent. Deep inside, I knew the truth. Daniel had left me. He had taken the money from my house, and he had abandoned me. The pain was unbearable. I cried harder than I had cried in years. Everything I trusted had disappeared. After a while, the officer introduced himself. "My name is Robert Miller." He sat beside me quietly. "You remind me of my mother," he said. I listened silently. "She passed away 5 years ago." His eyes became sad. Then he surprised me. "Please come home with me." I looked at him. "What? You can't stay here alone." I shook my head. "I don't want to be a burden." Robert smiled kindly. "You won't be." For a long moment, I did not know what to do. Then I realized something. I had nowhere else to go. So I nodded. "Okay." Robert took me to his house. His wife, Olivia, greeted me warmly. She welcomed me as if she had known me for years. There was kindness in her eyes. There was kindness in Robert's eyes, too. For the first time that terrible day, I felt safe. They gave me food. They prepared a room for me. They treated me with dignity and respect. That night, while holding my photo album, I cried again. I looked at Daniel's picture. "Why?" I whispered. No answer came. The next morning, Olivia prepared breakfast. She spoke kindly and never asked uncomfortable questions. Robert checked on me often. Together, they helped me heal. Days turned into weeks. Slowly, I became part of their household. We shared meals. We shared stories. We spent evenings talking together. For the first time in many years, I was not alone. One day, Robert received an important phone call. His face became serious. He stepped into another room. When he returned, he smiled. But there was sadness behind the smile. I noticed it. What I did not know was that the plane Daniel boarded had crashed. There were no survivors. Daniel was gone. Robert learned the truth that day, but he decided not to tell me. At least not yet. He knew my heart was already broken. He wanted to protect me from more pain. As the months passed, Robert and Olivia became like family. They took care of me. They listened to me. They respected me. One evening we sat together in the living room. The atmosphere was peaceful. Robert looked at me and smiled. "Do you miss your old home?" I thought for a moment. Then I answered honestly, "Yes." I looked around the room, "But I think I found another home." Robert smiled. I continued speaking. "I lost my son." Tears filled my eyes. But maybe life gave me another one. Robert's eyes became wet. Olivia reached over and gently held my hand. At that moment, I understood something important. Family is not only about blood. Family is also about love. Family is about the people who stay when everyone else leaves. Every night, I still prayed for Daniel. I prayed for his soul. I prayed for peace. Despite everything he had done, I still loved him. A mother's love does not disappear easily. But I also felt grateful. Life had taken so much from me. It had taken my husband. It had taken my home. It had taken my son. Yet life had also given me something unexpected. It had given me kindness. It had given me friendship. It had given me a second family. My name is Linda Parker. I lost almost everything I loved, but I discovered that even after great heartbreak, there can still be hope. And now, for the first time in many years, I am not alone anymore.